Imagine it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You are slumped over your kitchen table, bleary-eyed, squinting at your laptop. Empty coffee mugs and crumpled to-do lists are all around you. You're chasing a deadline, or trying to get ahead for tomorrow, or maybe you're trying to distract yourself from the tightness in your chest that's been building up all day, that gnawing sense that no matter how much you accomplish, it's never quite enough. On nights like these, you feel like a hamster on a wheel, right? I mean, you're caught in a cycle of frantic doing, stuck in a loop of obligations and reactions. The soft inhale and a soft exhale. I want you to come back to the present moment. I want you to come back to right now. If you had your eyes closed, you can open them or you can leave them closed. We've all been there, right? I mean, when was the last time you felt stretched? Like far too thin stretched? Like you were pouring from an empty cup. You were shortchanging yourself or maybe your loved ones. When's the last time you found yourself saying yes to everything and everyone except your own needs? We have this culture that glorifies busyness. It's easy to lose sight of what really matters during the constant pings and dings and the endless streams of emails and meetings. We say yes to every request, right? We actually pride ourselves with our packed schedules and we even wear the dark under-eye circles like they're badges of honor, right? And we're proud of our grit and our dedication. But here's the thing. When we are moving at this relentless pace, we miss the magic in each moment. We forget what it feels like to be truly present and to savor the sweetness of a slow morning or the satisfaction of pouring our whole hearts into a passion project. My favorite poet of all poets is Mary Oliver, and she has this line that says, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" Oh, I just love that so much because it's a question that stops me every time I read it. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? How do you want to spend your time, your energy on this planet? Which honestly, that question goes further with, are you making time for what truly lights you up? Or are you on autopilot, right? Just checking boxes and skimming the surface? Because I want to talk about reclaiming your time, your energy, which then leads to your joy. I want to talk about designing a life that feels aligned with plenty of space, even in the middle of chaos of right now. So today we're going to explore what it means to build a life that matters. What matters most in your world? Because listen in, guess what? The world needs your presence. Not the person next to you, not the other people in your house or your community. The world needs your presence. It needs your unique spark. It doesn't need another burned out human just going through the motions. It doesn't need you living a shrunken, diluted version of who you are and who you are capable of. So today, it is time to hop off the hamster wheel, to catch your breath, and to start investing in what feeds your soul. It's time to get radically intentional about how you spend your days and even be, wait for it, unapologetic. Yes, unapologetic about claiming time for what truly moves you. Are you ready? I'm ready. Come on, I don't want to be alone in this. Let's do this together. I'm Chad Lawson, and let's calm it down in 3, 2, 1. All right, so first things first. I want to normalize something. Feeling overwhelmed by demands It's not a personal failing. I just want to make that clear. Feeling overwhelmed by competing demands, it is not a personal failing. It's just the consequence of living in a society that encourages us to hustle hard and to have it all. We're swimming in messages that productivity determines our worth. So, of course, we feel pressure to do more, to achieve more, to prove more, and to be more, and prove our value every moment of every day. But when we're bouncing between tasks, we lose touch with our own needs, our own desires. We forget how to just be. We forget that we are human beings, not human doings. Can you remember the last time that you really felt present? I mean, like really, that your mind and body, they were in the same place. Maybe you were laughing with a friend, right? Or you were just really enjoying their story without itching to check your phone or to tell your side of the story. Maybe you were enjoying a really wonderful meal, right? You were letting each flavor just sit on your tongue and you just relished every bite of that sandwich. Man, a pimento cheese sandwich sounds amazing right now. Or maybe you were fully zoned in on a hobby that made your heart sing, right? Like just so unconcerned about what time it was. Because in those moments of being so engaged and so anchored in the now, time seems to slow down. We notice that? The background static of worries and the to-dos, they all just get quiet. And you feel a sense of just being alive, doing something like this. But a lot of times we are pulled out of the now by the call of our screens or the nagging voice insisting that we should be tackling something more quote unquote productive, right? We feel guilty for spending an hour in a really great book, or we feel guilty for sitting with a friend and just laughing with people as if we're stealing time from some imagined taskmaster, right? But here's the crazy thing. There is so much research that suggests that the more present we are, the more time we actually feel like we have. There was even one study that the people who practiced mindfulness meditations, they perceived they had more time in their day, even though the number of the hours had not changed. But their being able to tune into their inner and outer experience with fresh eyes, they expanded the sense of their time and what they could do, what was possible. Which then says to me on the flip side, when we are so distracted and fragmented, time seems to slip through our fingers like sand, right? We get to the end of a hectic day and we wonder where it all went. We have the sinking sense that we didn't show up for what really mattered most. So, how can you start making time for what matters, right? Well, a powerful first step is getting really clear on what your values are, on what you need, on what your purpose, what you're trying to just prioritize. Because you can, by the way, I don't know if anyone has told you this, you can have priorities that are personally just yours and nobody else's, and you can feel good about doing something, right? So I'm going to give you permission right now. Take a moment to ask yourself, take a moment to consider, what qualities do you want to embody in your lifetime? What relationships or experiences bring you the most fulfillment? Which ones are most life-giving to you? When you look back in 10 years, what will you be proudest to have devoted yourself to? Maybe it was something creative, or maybe it was an adventure, or maybe a service or family. I mean, there's no right answer, only the truth that rings in your own heart. But you can define what a meaningful life looks like for you, but only you. You're the only one that can do this. Because once you define some things that give you life, I want you to use them as a compass to how you spend your days. I'm going to say that again. Once you sit down and you write down the things that bring you life, I want you to use them as a compass or a roadmap or even a to-do list of my heartstrings, right? Here, try this. Pull up your calendar for the last month. Does it reflect any of those priorities that you have in your mind or that you just wrote down? Look at your calendar just for the past month, 30 days. Does it reflect your priorities? Or is it crowded with obligations that drown you? Does it look like the schedule of someone who knows their time is precious and finite? Oh my goodness. I have to ask that of myself. Does my schedule look like someone who knows their time is precious and finite? Because a lot of times we fall into patterns of overcommitting and saying yes when we want to say no. We agree to attend events that just, they bore us. Or we take on these projects that don't light us up. Or we pour our energy into relationships that deplete us rather than nourish us. We actually martyr ourselves in the name of pleasing others or proving our worth, right? We feel guilty when we take downtime instead of rushing ahead. But realigning your time and what's important to you, it starts with really small, courageous choices. And they're so hard. They're so hard to do. And I know you're with me in this. But when we do this, it means that we are practicing the holy art of saying no to what doesn't serve you. So you can say a full-bodied, absolutely yes to what does. I know firsthand how uncomfortable this can be because we're wired to please others, right? We're terrified of disappointing people, right? We've been trained to see rest as laziness and boundaries. That's just being selfish, right? That's what we feel. That's what we've been told. But every time you honor a boundary or you turn down an invitation that doesn't resonate, you create space for more meaningful yeses. I'm going to say that again because it's so powerful. Every time you honor a boundary or you turn down an invitation that does not resonate, you create space for more meaningful yeses. You affirm that your time belongs to you. Yes to spontaneous dance parties or meandering conversations or just frivolous experiences or just reading a book or taking a nap in the grass, watch the bugs. But yes to rest and to play and the simple glory of just goofing off. When was the last time you goofed off, right? Yes to savoring your life instead of racing through it. Because here's the beautiful thing that I want you to notice. When we make time for what matters most, we show up as better partners. We show up as better parents, better friends, and better community members, and better children. When we prioritize our own aliveness and nourishment, we have so much more to give. Our presence is richer. Our hearts are fuller because our minds are clearer. The deep breath in, deep breath out. I'm going to take a quick pause. Speaking of nourishment, I want to talk about something that is essential for our well-being. One of my favorite things, sleep. Oh my gosh. Talk about setting boundaries and priorities. Did you know that your temperature at night can have one of the greatest impacts on your sleep quality? It's true. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. You guys have heard me talk about them, and I will continue talking about them because I love them. They were inspired by NASA, and Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics and makes temperature-regulating bedding so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Not only that, but these sheets are self-cleaning. They are infused with silver that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them cleaner and fresher 3 times longer than any other sheets. No more gross odors or bacteria clogging your pores and causing breakouts. Guys, seriously, listen in. Miracle Made sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotels. It's like treating yourself to a little luxury that also supports your health and well-being, and honestly, this podcast. If you want to upgrade your sleep, go to trymiracle.com/calm, CALM, to try Miracle Sheets today. Whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use the promo code CALM, CALM, at checkout, you will get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. The great thing is, they are so confident in the product, it's backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 100%. If you're not satisfied, you get a full refund. So treat yourself to the gift of amazing sleep. Go to trymiracle.com/calm, CALM, and use the code CALM to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Use the code CALM. Now, back to our discussion on crafting a life aligned with what matters most. A lot of times when we are overextended and underfueled, we end up shortchanging the people and the projects that we care about the most. We snap at our loved ones, we skimp on self-care and sleep, and we hand in work that doesn't really reflect our best. We become resentful and depleted and a dim version of really how radiant we are. You think about it. So this week, I want to invite you to schedule at least one activity that aligns with your passions, with your heart, with your values. Block it off in your calendar like you would any other important meeting, because tending to yourself is that important meeting. Maybe it's a heart-to-heart with your sibling, or an afternoon in the pottery studio, or a long walk just meandering in the woods, right? Maybe it's a delicious nap. Oh, sounds so good. Or a living room dance party, or an hour to just tinker on that project that may not go anywhere, but it gives you life. But I want you to resist that temptation to push it off for another seemingly quote unquote urgent task. Remember, what you prioritize grows. I'm going to say that again. What you prioritize grows. And keep in mind, as you practice making time for what matters, be patient with yourself. You might bump up against those internal voices whispering, "You're wasting precious minutes." Even while working on this very script, I heard those voices myself. You're wasting precious minutes. Even when we are productive, we still feel like we are never enough. We still feel like we should be optimizing every second. But I want you to know that it's normal for pauses to feel awkward at first, and especially in the grind culture that we live in. Right? We've been conditioned to see worth as a function of output. So rest and play can feel frivolous, even dangerous, to be honest. But when you're doing this, I want you to close your eyes and just keep breathing into the discomfort of claiming time for yourself. Because moment by moment, a breath at a time, you are deprogramming the myth that your worth is about nonstop outputting. You are unlearning the lie that you have to earn the right to enjoy your life. And on those days that you feel particularly hectic, when feeling overwhelmed is touching your heels, take a tiny time out. Close down the tabs, put your phone on airplane mode, take 5 slow breaths, and give yourself the gift of a brief, sacred pause. Let your gaze rest on something beautiful, like the glint of sun coming through a window, or a velvety flower petal, right? The curve of your own palm. Let yourself linger in the loveliness of the moment. And then whisper to yourself, there's enough time. I have enough time. I'm taking this time. Say it out loud if you need to. Place a hand in your heart as you speak. And feel the truth as it sinks in. Feel the way that you can be rooted in the turbulence. And then from this place, I want you to ask yourself, when you're beginning to get overwhelmed, when you're feeling like the time that you are taking for yourself right now is frivolous or of no value, or that you should be doing something else, I want you to stop and close your eyes, put your hand on your chest. I want you to ask yourself, what is the most loving choice I could make in this moment? Not the most productive, not the most impressive, not what somebody else wants me to do, but the most nourishing, loving, life giving choice. Because I want you to listen for quiet wisdom. I want you to listen for the quiet wisdom of your own knowing, your trusting the voice that has your deepest well being at heart. In closing, I want to go back to that late night scene, right? Where you're hunched over a table and you're chasing productivity while exhaustion just claws at your heels, right? Except this time, I want you to picture your wiser self entering into the room. They walk over to you, they gently close your laptop, and they lead you over to the couch. With your eyes still closed, watch as they wrap a soft blanket around your shoulders and press a warm mug into your hands. I know how hard you're trying, they whisper. I know how easy it is to get caught in the current of busyness and striving. I know how tempting it is to measure your days by what your productivity is. But you don't have to white knuckle your way through this. You are allowed to choose some peace, to protect your precious time, to protect your energy. You are allowed to craft a life that feels nourishing and true. They go on to whisper, take a moment of rest and trust that everything that truly needs to be done will get done. The emails will be answered, the projects completed, the errands run. And guess what? The world will keep spinning even if some balls get dropped. What matters most is that you show up for this one wild and precious life of your whole present. Take a moment of rest and trust that everything that truly needs doing will get done. The emails will be answered, the projects completed, the errands run. You can slowly open your eyes if you like, or you can keep them closed. But guess what? The world will keep spinning, even if some balls get dropped. What matters most is that you show up for this one wild and precious life with your whole presence. What matters most is you don't miss the magic of your own existence. So this week, look for the opportunities to hop off the hamster wheel. Look for little pockets of grace and breathing room. Practice discerning what's simply urgent and what's truly important. And get curious about the moments you feel most alive, most purposeful, even. Start with a small, simple step to invest in what nourishes you the most. A no to an empty obligation, and a yes to a soul-filling hobby. A deep breath before plunging into your day, a few minutes to savor your morning coffee. But schedule pockets of unstructured time to simply follow your curiosity and delights, right? Just those moments to get lost in an activity that feed your spirit without rushing to the next thing. Because little by little, you'll start feeling like the author of your own life, right? Not a character racing to keep up with the plot. You will start feeling more centered, more spacious, more at home in your own body, in your own environment, in your own world. And on those inevitable days when your inner taskmaster kicks it up, questioning if you're doing enough, Pause. Breathe. Let your wiser self remind you, there's enough time. I have enough time. This is my time. I am cheering for you as you reclaim your minutes and realign yourself. I'm celebrating each courageous step to protect what lights you up. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for living. Thank you for being brave enough to make time for what lights up your life. The world needs you at your most radiant. I am sending you so much love. So until next time, be kind to your mind and rest easy, knowing you are right on time. Until next time, be kind to your mind and rest easy, knowing that you are right on time. And join me again next time as we calm it down. To find more episodes of Calm It Down, see where I may be appearing in your area, or just simply want to know where to send me some chocolate chip cookies, visit calmitdownpodcast.com. This podcast was written and produced by yours truly, Chad Lawson, composer, pianist, and nationally recognized Sweet Tooth. The views, expressions, and techniques in this episode are of my personal opinion and not intended, nor should they, serve as a substitute for medical advice or diagnosis rendered to you by your individual doctor or other healthcare provider. Only a licensed physician should evaluate your situation, provide a diagnosis, or render other medical advice to you, and you should only act upon the advice of this physician. Now, I'm an extreme empath by nature, but my profession is that of a composer and pianist, not a licensed therapist or physician. I hear from thousands of listeners how my music has helped them through various stages of emotional needs, and I simply want to offer this in future podcast episodes to aid those needs. So to find a list of licensed professionals in your area, please visit calmitdownpodcast.com. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review, or better yet, share it with a friend. While it takes less than 60 seconds to do, its impact will last for years to come, as every little bit helps in growing the awareness and the importance of mental and emotional health. Thank you for listening. Thank you for living. And until next time, be kind to your mind and join me again as we calm it down.